sitting here in my home on the Shore Road in Dundalk in a house that started its life roughly 100 years ago, which is appropriate as I'm transcribing letters from the 1916 project. At the moment, I'm trying to transcribe a letter to Hannah Sheely Skeffington. It keeps referring to a countess who I presume to be Countess Markovich. I understood the point of this whole project to be to digitize letters from that era so that they would be available to future generations and to make it accessible. The fun part is trying to interpret illegible writing and trying to make sense of things and to fill in gaps in faded documents, things like that. They relate not just to the Rising, but to life in general at that period. I feel privileged to be able to read some of the innermost thoughts of people who were involved in that era. At times it does feel a little like we're invading their privacy, but generally I think I got a much deeper insight into what life was like. I'm looking after my little darling Gabby, a 13-year-old border collie, and I often say is my sanity on 4 legs. I suppose working on the letters project, reading about the war and the conditions of what people went through, and it was the little things that they missed, little things like pets at home, maybe reading bedtime stories to children, the little ordinary everyday occurrences of life. When I joined the project, a lot of, I suppose, the starring or headline letters had already been transcribed, those of the 16 leaders. I seemed to be drawn to letters from written by Mary Martin to her mother. She was a young nurse working on the front of the Battle of the Somme. She came across to me as a very, very caring, a very warm person. It took me quite some time to realise she went on to become Mother Mary Martin, who founded the Medical Missionaries of Mary and Our Lady of Lourdes Hospital, Drogheda. I suppose it's that wonderful serendipity of life that I'm sitting here reading a letter written by this lady who, unbeknownst to me, had played some little role in my early life in that she founded the hospital in which I was born and which nursed me through the first 2 months of my life, which I'm told I wasn't supposed to survive. And apparently she met me on a few occasions. I sadly don't remember it. Would have liked to have met her. I think she was a very strong, positive lady. I'm not an academic and I don't work for the 1916 project, but I had some time on my hand and decided I'd contact the project and see what happened. It is the sort of thing that anybody could do quite easily. It's not restricted to any particular skill set. It's quite open, quite accessible, and very enjoyable.